Trib Live Radio presents Pirates manager Clint Hurdle, appearing throughout the season with Ken Laird and Guy Junker.
El Toro strikes in the 19th.
The best Pirates talk is right here. Trib Total Media. See what's next.
Walk it off, Andrew McCutcheon. That's a buckle victory in front of a sellout crowd on a Saturday night.
I'm Ken Laird along with Guy Junker. It's Trib Live Radio. We were honored last year, Guy, to bring Pirates manager Clint Hurdle throughout the baseball season. Excited again this year to have Clint on again. He's agreed to be with us every few weeks to talk some baseball. Clint, good morning, and thanks for agreeing to chat with me and Guy a few more times.
Well, you're welcome, guys. I look forward to it.
Well, I somehow doubt that a little bit, but at least you can have some coffee, right?
I look forward to it. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it, guys.
Clint, I'm going to go back to something you told me when we were doing our interview for TV back in spring training. You said that as a manager in the majors, you thought that A.J. Burnett and Wandy Rodriguez were the best 1-2 punch that you've ever managed in a starting rotation. So far, I mean, Wandy's had a little bit of a setback with the hamstring, but that certainly is proven out for a couple weeks.
It's going to. They're reliable. The dependability that both of them bring to the game is unique. If you look over starting pitchers the last 5 years, you look at the men that have posted up, that have taken the ball every fifth day, the numbers that they're able also to put up. It's not all about wins and losses. Sometimes they're in situations where, in AJ's case, the last 10, 12 starts, they've scored a lot of runs, but if you look at the hits per inning, the walks, the whip, whatever you want to grab, they are out there competing, giving their teams a chance to win, and more often than not, pitching into the deeper part of the game. So we're encouraged to have Wandy back. He's going to make a start on the 19th. And we've also got the clock ticking on Mr. Liriano. He's going to be in AA Altoona firing up a game here shortly, so he's getting closer.
Clint, when you watched A.J. last night, and obviously the no-hitter that went on into the seventh, did you get a sense that it was extra special for him? And also, he throws so many curveballs. It's obviously it's one of the best in the game. Would you say it's the best curveball in the game? And how does he get so many of them in and get away with it?
I do believe it's one of the top two breaking balls in the game. The only reason I'm throwing out another guy, it could be, I don't even know who that guy is. He has the best that I've seen. I don't see a lot of the American League, so I leave that window open. The two things that go with his breaking ball being so good, number one, is the quality of his breaking ball, the shape of it. He can throw it for strikes. He can backdoor it to left-handers, which means going to the outer part of the plate where it just comes in late, looks like a ball, boom, it's a strike. Or he throws it out of his hand, it's a strike, and ends up the left-hander's back foot. Conversely, he can front door the right-handers where he throws it right at them, and it just paralyzes them, and it's a called strike, or he throws it over the middle of the plate where it looks like a strike and swing and miss, chase out of the zone. But he's got enough fastball left. It's hard to set either one. The two-seam fastball is 90-92. That four-seam fastball he throws is 93-94. So the combination of those things right there make the breaking ball very, very special.
He has mentioned after each of his starts, Clint, that he would like to not throw so many pitches and go deeper. Well, where do you draw the line? I mean, strikeouts are great, but when you strike out a lot of guys, and I think he's leading the majors now in total strikeouts, it does get your pitch count up there. And I was actually thinking last night, I was covering the Penguin game, and I'm watching on the computer, and I'm looking at his pitch count, and I'm thinking, oh, boy, if he gets up well over 100 pitches and still has a no-hitter going in the 8th or 9th inning, that's what kind of decision is that for Clint? I guess you would have had to leave him pitch. But pitch count, strikeouts, I mean, where do you draw the line as a manager? Would you like to see a few less strikeouts and him maybe last an inning longer?
You know what? The game needs to be played the way the game needs to be played. AJ's got to pitch to strengths. For us to try and change him, this is one of the conversations we've had. For me to try and make him throw more two-seamers for quick contact, grit ground balls, I'm not a big proponent of changing a man, establishing his career at this point in time and what he's doing. A younger man, you could maybe work on some things or just spike the pitch count up to 125 or 130. Verlander did it for years. He's actually been backed off this year. I talked to Jimmy in spring training. Jimmy was going to back off his innings. He was going to back off the number of pitches he throws. He just feels it's the appropriate time in that man's career to do that. AJ's on the back side of things. So if we can get 100 over to 110, he's thrown 106, 108 so far. Last night, I'm glad I wasn't the manager, because if we don't if the eighth inning doesn't give up a hit in the seventh, that boy's going to hit in the eighth. Excuse me, he's going to hit in the bottom of the seventh. He's going to go out and pitch the eighth. And he could end up, if he doesn't give up a hit there, he could end up at 115, 120. And if there's no hits there, what do you do? Tell you what I'm going to do is I'm going to push him back out there. I'm going to talk to him and tell Ray, as long as he's repeating his delivery, I can't get in the way of this. I'm not smart enough to say, hey, in the best interest of us winning the game tonight, we need to do this. No. This is about history. It is about us winning the game. You push him out there. You see what happens. The hardest part of it, guys, you can't get anybody up in the bullpen when a no-hitter's going on. So when that hit does happen, sometimes that becomes problematic. You make that mound trip, you get a couple arms going and jack it up, but things can happen in a hurry. So, I don't want to change him. He's effective the way he is. I'm sorry for being long-winded there, but that's the deal.
Pirates manager Clint Hurdle, our guest here on Ken and Guy. Hey, AJ is obviously one of your leaders, Clint. I was fascinated to hear your chat with Dan Kovacevic in spring training. You told him about the leadership group that you had put together with a bunch of your captains that you're going to meet with every so often. Has it happened yet, and how was the idea received by the players when you came to them with it?
It has happened in spring training. We had a couple things we needed to go over breaking out of camp. A couple things I wanted their input in. So we met in spring training after the players voted for the 5 respective leaders, and we met 2 days ago. We met Tuesday, and we just continue to talk about hot topics. I get some feedback from each individual guy in his area of expertise. Grilly from the bullpen, Barmas with the infielders, Kutch with the outfielders. Russell with him and McHenry, the catchers, but some offensive and some pitching insight, and then AJ. So whether it be clubhouse climate, whether it be a young player that's struggling with something, he shares it, or my perception, I might give them some tasks to go handle out there. Well received, some great conversation the other day in my office. We were in there about 20 minutes. Because you never know what they're going to bring to the table. And it's already been very, very rich as far as information. John and Donald reached out to somebody, had a thought, team idea on some camaraderie. They brought it to me. I shared it with Neil, and it's good, and we're doing it. So the feedback's been excellent. The more opportunity they have to take ownership of the things they do, to empower them, I think is huge.
Clint, Pedro got off to a slow start last year, but came on certainly at least with the power numbers at the plate. I mean, does that allow you a little more patience knowing you've kind of seen this movie before? Or are you getting frustrated with his lack of production at this point? Where do you stand with him so far?
I don't get frustrated. I played the game. I know how hard it can be to play the game. Everybody wants him to do well. Nobody wants him to do more than him. Unfortunately, I jokingly said in the press conference yesterday before the game, maybe we just won't start him until April 15th next year. That's tongue-in-cheek. After tax day, we'll get him out there. The encouraging thing, he's playing hard defense. Been playing good defense. The at-bats have gotten a little bit better of late. I know a couple other power hitters. It was crazy, but April just didn't work. Until about the 3rd week in April. Similar story we saw last year. So, yes, we have some familiarity with it. We don't like it, but you have the faith and you have the feeling he's going to break out of it any second. I thought the Cardinal series might be an opportunity based on past history. That didn't happen. We'll try this series and we'll go from there, but there could be a time here. If we don't pick up it, you just back him away. Give him a day on top of a whether it be a left-hander, whether it be something else, just to back him away. But we do know the impact he can have upon our offense when he starts rolling. So that's what you try and stay mindful of.
Clint, I'm sure guys that when they do struggle early will start to press a little bit. When it comes to pitchers and like James McDonald and Jonathan Sanchez, between starts, what can they do? Would you rather them almost do less, or are they really trying to watch a ton of film? And what can they do to correct their recent struggles?
There can be a mixture. In the case of these two guys, we'll just show them, identify some film where they've been spot on and repeating their delivery, where the mechanics are lined up, just to show them. But in Jonathan's case, his problem is he has a desire to really do well after last season, as anybody would. Well, that urgency to make the next good pitch, and then really to make the next 3 good pitches in one pitch, gets him spinning out of his delivery. He leaves a lot of ball arm side wide. Last year it happened all year long. This year we got it in a good form, good shape in spring training. It's all about repeating his delivery. So while they're doing their mound work, that one big time in between starts that they might throw 50, 55 pitches, you just set up some guidelines, you set up some markers, you set up some things to follow and some things to be mindful of, and you let it go and you challenge them a little bit. But McDonald's case, he's talking about, it's not so much the mechanics. It's just his feel. He doesn't feel strong. And I told him, well, you know what, James, we've been through this before with you. We're going to continue to encourage him because we know how good he can be. At the same time, he's got 3 starts. Number of starts, he's going to get moving forward and depend upon James. And basically it is with Jonathan as well. And both of them know this. So they need to take ownership of some things of what they want to do too. Do you want to watch more video? I don't go there. Let's get to work, but let's compete come game time. And really make something happen on the mound because you've got teammates playing behind you. And we've got guys coming. Morton's coming. Liriano's coming. This is no secret. This is no backdoor thing we're trying to slide in on anybody. We're going to get the best 5 starters together here in another 3 weeks, whoever they might be, and then we're going to move forward.
I saw, Clint, that Charlie's supposed to pitch in Bradenton today. How much farther behind Liriano do you think he is?
He's 1 start behind him. Liriano threw in Bradenton last week, 5 days ago. And I think his next start is coming right up for the AA team. So they're both looking. Charlie's probably looking at 4 starts, which would equate to 20 days, 3 weeks, possibly. Once they start in the Florida State League or in a minor league thing, they have that 20-day window in which to compete. So Liriano could have as many as 3 more starts. Contreras could have as many as 4 or 5 more opportunities. He's also going to be in AA. So we've got guys coming, and that's one of the beautiful things that was able to happen for us over the winter. It hurt us losing Liriano with that injury, but the depth we've got with Morton, with Liriano, with Contreras, and Karsten sometimes this week I think is actually going to throw a bullpen. His last time out was on flat ground, and he threw off the mound about 20 pitches. So he's making some progress as well.
Real quick, Clint, how about Brandon Inge? How close and what can he bring you if he does get going right?
He plays with an edge that I like, that I've seen. He's good on the field. We don't want to bring in guys that are just good in the clubhouse. Nobody needs that. We need guys that can play. They've got to help the team in some specific area. Veteran leadership experience on the field. He has a very slow heartbeat. There's barrel to that bat that plays. He gave Oakland a tremendous shot in the arm last year when he got involved there. His expiration date, we could push him all the way to the 24th. His rehab time was a 20-day clock as well. It started on the 4th of April when Indy played their first game. He's still accumulating bats because at bats have gotten better. He's played defensively at third, at second, at first, and at left field. He's still going to get a game in right field, and he's going to get a game in shortstop. So, he's on the backside of the rehab thing and making good progress.
Clint, real pleasure speaking with you as always. We mean it, and I know you're busy. We appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk to you in a few weeks.
You're welcome, man. Have a great morning.